Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy JD. I hope you're all having a great day. After yesterday's video, which was all about students in Pennsylvania staging a walkout, all in protest of woke bathroom policies, a load of you in the comment section, yes, I've seen them, told me to check out some rallies that were going on in Canada. I do apologize about the sunlight going in, but you told me to check out some rallies that were going on in Canada, and at the time, I had no idea what was going on, I'll be honest, but I've checked it out, and it certainly seems like Canada is finding their voice. We all know, respectively, Canada is known as this place that is very liberal and progressive. I got a couple of friends out in Canada that I talk to from time to time, and they tell me about the stuff that goes on, and it's pretty insane. But yesterday, thousands made their voices heard in a few places across Canada, all to do with a movement called the 1 Million March for Children, which is all about opposing the woke indoctrination that kids are going through in public schools in Canada, and so on and so forth. Now, we're going to check out this article very briefly by Rebel News, because they were actually at one of the protests in Ottawa, and they also provided some video footage which we'll also react to. Now, before we carry on with that, if you could, make sure to leave a like rating, as it really helps out the video. We're on the road to 60k, so if you're new, hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you never miss an upload of me speaking out against today's madness. Let's get into this. Thousands rally in Ottawa against gender indoctrination in schools. Far-left activists counter-protest. Thousands of demonstrators joined the 1 Million March for Children, a protest opposed to what its organizers refer to as an indoctrination and converged on Parliament Hill in Ottawa, Ontario on Wednesday morning. Hundreds of counter-demonstrators stood opposite the 1 Million March for Children protesters prior to the protesters' planned march through a segment of downtown Ottawa. Dozens of police officers stayed between the opposing demonstrators. Dozens of protesters told Rebel News they were demonstrating against gender ideology, indoctrination in public schools marketed by school boards as educational curriculum. Many counter-demonstrators were seen with the rainbow paraphernalia, as wearing masks associated with governmental decrees ostensibly related to CEV-19 transmission. Yes, the common attire for these people, right? We see it all the time, but the people with common sense also deserve the right to voice their opinions, raise their concerns. It can't only just be one side of the argument. If parents are concerned about what their kids are learning about in school, they deserve the right to protest, because if it's only one side of the argument, as is always the case, how far is this going to go? And some people will say it has already gone too far, and I would agree. You know, kids are the most impressionable generation out there. They should be nowhere near, in any way, shape or form, things they shouldn't be learning about just because what a select few individuals have decided is educational curriculum. No, you are taking kids down a path which firstly they didn't ask for, and in a lot of cases their parents didn't consent to either, just so you can change their worldview. And that shouldn't be happening, firstly because I don't want to be reacting to them in a few years time in a woke TikTok reaction, and I don't think anybody else does either. Secondly, in all seriousness, this needs to stop. Kids need to be allowed to develop their own worldview. Just leave the kids alone. Apparently that last statement is one of the most controversial things anybody can say today. That's how backwards things have become. But as I mentioned earlier, Rebel News were down at this protest in Ottawa. They were interviewing a lot of people down there, asking for their opinions on things. So all credit again goes to Rebel News for this video footage I'm going to be showing you guys. You're also going to be seeing a very familiar face, I think, Josh Alexander. We covered his story on this channel many months ago now. He got into a lot of trouble with his school after he opposed their views on gender ideology. He's still not allowed back there. Crazy. I think many people would agree with me when I say a load of people would have buckled over that. You know, they would bow down to that and not, you know, push back again. But no, this guy's taking it all in his stride. He's pushing back against agendas and fighting back against things that are affecting men, women and children. And as I said yesterday, it's especially great to see young men standing up to these things. We need to see more of that, because we know we're in a time now where men are purposely being made to be weak. Men must stand up more. So I always applaud this. I'm going to play a couple of minutes of this footage. You're all going to love it, and I'll see you all in a bit. Take a watch.
This is something that is very inappropriate. It should stay closed. And why are you promoting in schools?
Right now, education is not education anymore. It's indoctrination. We must stop that.
They're taking away our parental rights. They're asking the kids in school, young kids, to decide on the gender.
You know, this event is an innocent event for families from coast to coast, for fathers and mothers, and we're just trying to protect Canada's kids.
I think we've seen quite an incredible march here today. Even I didn't expect it to be that big. Because we had the march spread out through small towns all across the country and cities and everywhere.
We got to speak with all flavors of Canadians, many of them, all sorts of backgrounds, professional, geographical, religious, ethnic, racial, professional backgrounds, and we're going to share some of those amazing talks with you right now.
What's important is that kids get the education that they need, not that somebody else wants them to have. I've got 10 grandsons who, the younger ones, don't need to know this. They need to know how to survive in life with education, not indoctrination.
I just don't think that children like me should have their decisions made by a corrupt school system or a corrupt government. I think that my parents know best for me. I don't think that the government knows what's best for me.
Well, the issues are my children being in schools where they promote sexualization. This is something that is very inappropriate. It should stay closed. And why are you promoting it in schools? And they say, oh, you know, they're the minority and they're being discriminated against. I'm a minority too. Where's my flag?
Well, I got a 16-year-old in public education. She's coming home with horror stories about teachers encouraging students before class to get up and either identify or, you know, come out, as you will. And no, I don't agree. We need to keep that out of schools. We need to keep it academic. Chemistry, math, science, physical education.
Well, we don't agree with gender ideology being taught in schools. Teachers are there to be teaching math, science, history. Leave the kids out of this gender ideology.
I think we've seen quite an incredible march here today. Even I didn't expect it to be that big. Because we had the march spread out through small towns all across the country and cities and everywhere. So I wouldn't expect it to be actually this big in Ottawa. So I'm happy to see that. And I think it was interesting to see that face-off that happened at the start when the crowds were growing there. And we had Jagmeet Singh on the one side, and he was looking at me, making eye contact and like mouthing words at me and stuff.
Yeah, it's great to see, right? And as I said yesterday, this is how people raise their voices. This is how you voice your opinion. You tell these people in high positions, we're tired of our children being indoctrinated with certain worldviews. You tell them we're tired of men and women having to live in a society that is being controlled, some may say, by a small minority of people at the expense of the large majority. In most cases, it's always benefiting now the small minority. And talking about people in high positions, Justin Trudeau, I believe, has responded to all of these protests on a post on X, and his response is something you probably would expect. Let me make one thing very clear. Transphobia, homophobia, and biphobia have no place in this country. We strongly condemn this hate and its manifestations, and we stand united in support of the 2S LGBTQI+, what is that, Canadians across the country. You are valid and you are valued. Yeah, I don't know what any of those letters mean, by the way. Maybe you guys can help me out on that one, but this tweet just shows or sums up what is wrong with society right now. For parents to raise their concerns on what their kids are learning about in schools is now viewed as mean and hateful. It's not. They deserve the right to be concerned and deserve the right to voice their opinion. If teachers are teaching them certain things, you're pushing them down a certain way, the parents deserve to voice their opinion on that, because as uncomfortable it may be for these liberals and progressives, they aren't your kids. Leave the kids alone. That simple, really. Again, controversial statement. I am really starting to feel like, and I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm starting to feel like these next few years are very pivotal in whatever direction, you know, the culture heads in. We can make a change right now. It feels like the pendulum is starting to swing a tiny bit back to the middle, you know, after it's been swung so hard over there by a large group of people and a lot of power. It really does seem like people now are waking up to certain things. We've got many elections coming up where people can make change. But leave your thoughts down below on this one. Ladies and gentlemen, leave your thoughts down below on these people protesting. I would love to hear what you guys have to think. If you have enjoyed today, please, for me, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Share this video, but until next time, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.